Today I want to talk about some more weird happenings. I may have mentioned I had 2 pet rats. They lived till 2021. But I mentioned about how whatever TIs have mentioned about people's gone in and out of their homes and stuff like that. Well, the only weird thing it's bugged me, and I've always wondered about it. My 2 rats were both male, and I had them 4 years. When I first had them, they had pretty big testicles. Small period of time where I wasn't staying at my place, but I was going up to feed them 3 times a week. One time I noticed I went up, because I was staying away, but I was going up to feed them. They seemed sleepy. I had as part of the evidence, and they wasn't their usual self. Then I noticed they didn't have their testicles. Yeah, that's one other weird thing. That's one of the weirder things I've been through and experienced. They lived 4 years. But if that hadn't have happened, they don't just have their testicles and then disappear, do they? So that's another weird fucking goings on I've experienced. They actually, when I first had them, I think it was probably maybe year 2, I noticed this had happened. I had them from babies, never ever aggressive towards me, just have a little play fight. I used to allow them to gently put their teeth on my finger, and he never made me bleed. I've actually been bit in the past by a female pet rat, funnily enough. But no, my male ones never bit me. They used to bit me, well, they used to try it on each other, but I didn't really care about that either, No, that's a weird thing that's happened. My keys to my place, the spare ones, was inside the rat place, and my other set of keys would have been either on my person, in my pocket, or left in my rucksack. So, yeah, that's a little tiny bit suspicious. I'm just thinking of it. Obviously, the people who can fuck with you, they can access your house. It doesn't require a locksmith either. It doesn't require busting the door down either. It either means they have a key, or this is slightly off topic now, because I'd left my keys laying around in certain places, I will add, but I got no proof or evidence of that, to be totally honest. But, yeah, they have got an electronic door opener, so it's a magnet-style digital device. So they put it next to a mechanical door lock, any door lock you can think of, you open with a key. This is deep state private corporation technology now, this is. So you can put it over your front door, but your key goes in, you unlock it, and the magnets in it can make all the mechanisms inside the lock go into the right position, and it can unlock the door. And yes, with alien and back-engineered technology, they got magnets that can pick up any metal. It doesn't have to be steel, or it's only steel that's magnetic, magnets that normal people can get hold of, but they got technology that can pick any metal up with a magnet. So yeah, it's sort of like very sci-fi effect technology, but it can make the door lock mechanisms turn it in the right position and open the door. That's the sort of private corporation, deep state sort of technology. They have that as well. Obviously, keypad combinations, they can fucking open it up easy, can't they? The shitheads. And there's the pass keycards and fucking fobs. That's probably a piece of piss as well. But yeah. I'm going over weird happenings, but I don't know. I got my suspicions on who I think it could be, but I don't have any evidence. My father used to come up with me a lot of the time, and he was petrified of them. I had no fear for him, and do you know what I would have done if he had bit me? I wouldn't have given a shit, to be totally honest, and I wouldn't have hurt him either. If it got that bad, I would have bloody worn bloody gardening gloves, but they never got like that. They used to come to me when I was sick. He'd run up, they'd go up my top, they'd sit on my head, they'd run around on my lap. And you know what? They never even pissed or shitted on me either, not once. They used to have a little play fight on my lap. But after I noticed that, they was never ever themselves. And they did slowly start to rapidly go downhill then. Other targeted individuals have mentioned as well, people's gone and screwed with their pets in their home. So yeah, but I'm only adding my father as a suspect number one, as I know I'm not going to mention suspect number two, but it's pointless, it's in the past, but I don't appreciate that at all, like, whoever fucking did that, fucking taking my balls off my two pet fucking male rats, but I don't have any evidence, nah, but no, it pisses me off, but yeah, that's one little thing to add. Yeah, they're really friendly. Perfectly fine. He wasn't kept in a cage either. I let him have an entire one room. Give him some things to play with. I used to have a video of it. I'm going to put the video of that actually back on my channel. I'm going to put a nice video together of him. I think. Put it back onto my channel. Yeah, maybe not, I don't know, but yeah, some cocky little fucking cunt thought they could do that to my pet rats. Well, says it all, doesn't it? Cause that's what I noticed, he rapidly went downhill. So I figured it all out right now this morning, just thought of that. Their health went after that, after I noticed they come back. It's as if they'd just been come back from the vets and sort of scenario. He's drowsy after anaesthetic, I'm trying to say. And he's very sleepy the one time. And I noticed then, time after, something wrong with you. What the fuck, could you see him, mate? Right next to their tail. Their fucking testicles are gone. So yeah. Been lost gone on since I bought them I purchased them in 2019. When I purchased them? 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. I had 3.5 years he lived. It's stated in the pet shop he lived 2 to 3 years. I heard a program that you can get like 8 to 10 years out of a pet rat. And if you have a male pet rat, if you have them done, they don't live as long. Because they lose all their healthy hormones that keeps their system and body running. So it fucks them up. So yeah, I would have easily had 10 years out of them. And he wasn't scatty from the day I had him, because he had the whole room to run around in, and they wasn't wild. I experienced them with their testicles quite a long period of time, and he wasn't wild and he wasn't aggressive towards me. Whoever shitheads, like, who may have being around them at the time, like my little pissy father, if it was anything to do with him, not something to do about it now, stay away from him. He didn't go anywhere near him anyway. I probably wasn't him, probably wasn't suspect too. It's probably some fuckery from the shit I've been dealing with for many fucking years. But yeah, I think I'm adding now anyway. Part of evidence of weird happenings. Anyone with a bloody brain would notice that, and I didn't notice it. So yeah, I've noticed that now. No, I'm only adding this as part of weird happenings. I used to have to flee them every 2 weeks as well, from the day I bought them, and they was never funny then either. No, I don't have fear of small little animals. Even if they do bite me, it doesn't matter. Who cares, like? I don't have to show aggression back or shout either. They just don't tend to bite me, like. To be totally honest. No. It's weird. Very weirdo things like that's happened in the past, like. Yeah. Also going to add as well, because I love little animals and big animals. Since I was like 13, I've run a taxi service occasionally if I spotted them for hedgehogs who may be on the road or on the pavement. I rescued a baby one when I was 14. Because there was a cat nearby, and I took it away from that area and put it in some bushes away, quite far away from the road. And I think I've had to do it a few other times. In 2024, it was a hedgehog right next to a busy road, and it was the fully grown one. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to move you now. So I moved him or her, I don't know what it was, what he or she was. And I was bloody covered in bloody spikes in my hand. And I sort of like covered my my hands and my sleeves and my jacket. But I was still covered in spikes. I had to carry it quite a distance, like, probably over 100 yards up to where my mother used to live. It was like a garden at the back. I put him or her there. Otherwise, I would have got run over. And it was a bloody big one, though. And that was interesting. It smelt as well. It stunk. I never smelt them smell like that, but to be totally honest, it was the biggest one I'd ever picked up. But no, I had a buzz out of it. It was fun, actually. Yeah, I'm not scared of house spiders particularly. The only problem I have with house spiders is they move too fast. But I've liked to catch them in my taxi service for removing spiders out of the house and back it outside in my small insect carrying tub. But if they'd stay still, I would allow them to go onto my hand, but they don't. They tend to go up your bloody sleeve all over the place, so that's the only reason why I have to put them in a tub. I don't like them doing that sort of thing. To be totally honest, I would actually rather deal with a tarantula, because they tend to move a bit slower. I've never picked one up. I've picked the corn snake up, someone else's pet. It went up my sleeve, he quite tight, he wrapped around me a little bit. I used to go and play around with slow worms when I was like a child. So occasionally, I haven't seen any of them for years. I haven't bothered looking anyway for a year, but since then. I've seen an adder once. I've adders in Britain, like a pattern on them. I didn't stop around that point. I just seen them shoot across and went back to the bushes. You do have adders in Britain. The female rat that bit me was someone else's pet. That was years and years back. But no, I'm not really scared of small animals biting me. Doesn't really matter, like, it's only ever been bitten once by a small animal, and it was a female rat. But no, yeah, I didn't care about that. It was like, two nails, small, like, pins, going into my finger. And, obviously I had puppies in the past, they tend to bite you when they're teething and stuff, and that doesn't bother me either. No, yeah, it's weird happenings. Me personally, I don't think the deep state technology could be asked to come and do something like that. I don't know why, I just don't think it would. Maybe something to do with that sort of thing. I don't think they would use the technology device to open the door. You can have master keys for door locks in these social housings as well. Easy enough. You can use a locksmith. But one thing I would say, because of a corruption, I hope that device never ends up with law enforcement in Britain. I really fucking do, to be totally honest. It probably won't. I doubt it will, I don't know. Who knows? I hope it doesn't. The way laws are in Britain, I hope it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, they do have that sort of technology. Probably only the size of probably this bloody pack of fags, maybe. Perhaps you have to charge it up with a battery charger, I don't know. You'd hold it over a door lock, and it would make all the mechanisms in the lock go into the right position. It's probably got a key fob function as well, and a key card function. That's the sort of stuff they got. Yeah. And they probably got stuff to deactivate and activate alarms as well. With the key fob ones. It's interesting topics. That's a weird happening that's happened in the past, and you get countless ends of TIs that say that animals been messed around with and died and stuff. But that rat sort of thing that happened to me with my two pet rats, and he was never the same after I noticed that. It's weird, like, yeah, you can't, it's unmissable. It's pretty unmissable. I'm going to go over pictures and stuff I got of them as well, because I took loads of pictures of them. I can probably prove it from my pictures of them, actually, when I come to think of it. So yeah, that's going to be have a good old dive into my pictures of them and see if I can suss it out. Maybe I got a close-up of one of them. I'm not sure. They used to bum each other. It didn't bother me. And he wasn't doing it all the time anyway. He would have grown out of that eventually anyway. No, their testicles don't just go completely. No chance. Not after a year of having them or so. The end of year 1 into year 2. Nah. But yeah, it's interesting thing. Weird happenings I've experienced throughout my life. Yeah. Another thing I will add as well, in my old house, where I was in my bedroom, 11 years old, me, you could hear the horrible, disgusting word in my surroundings at 11, a lot. Okay, it wasn't continuous, but it was, I could hear it. The water pipe to the house, they were always messing around with the water mains to the house. To the houses, changing pipe works and stuff like that, pipe into the house. That's a weird thing as well, like, the water mains didn't go wrong as often as that. And there was a taste to that particular tap water. Class this as cuckoo paranoia if you want to, but there was a lot of tampering with the water, always working on the water at that house, my second house, I lived with my mother after my brother died. My father split from my mother. When I lived there. Yeah, he was always tapping over water. So that's weird happenings as well. Yeah. Not much else I can say now about that. I've seen get some pictures of these rats of mine as well. Put on your, yeah. No, if a target individual's got pets, you should fucking keep a close eye on them. That's the best thing I can say, definitely. Yeah. There's lots of TIs have mentioned that sort of thing has happened to them. I've repeated that a few times, because that's what I've heard on the internet. A couple of times with other TIs I've watched, I haven't put on my channel. Yeah. I'm going to continue to talk about weird happenings now. Stuff I've experienced. This is going back before now. I was living in my second flat when I had my 6-month re-to house. I started to take the piss now and call it Alexa. But anyway, that particular day, I mentioned it before, where I was out walking around all day in a panic because I thought my neighbours was against me, so he wasn't. Eventually, I ended up, I was out on my bike. I come off my mountain bike, and I had a cut face. I was walking around all day with a cut face. I did go to my mother's house. She wouldn't let me in, and she looked like she was all weirded out as well. I don't know what the hell was going on with her. She must have been having some sort of attack or something, or she's all strange. Anyway, not much to do about that. My mother's been through quite a bit herself. But eventually, the police picked me up, and I mentioned they put me straight in handcuffs with rubber gloves on. They probably had the rubber gloves on. My face was cut just to add, but eventually called an ambulance. I was in the ambulance, and it was I've been in a few ambulances throughout my life as a child, and to that point, I think I've been in an ambulance one more time since then. I've never ever noticed a clock in the ambulance, and I'm going to go word for word for what I was hearing from them. I sat in there. It was similar to the situation I was having last time I got picked up by the police because of a mental health issue. That's the third time. The last time was. The second time, there was no drama. I'll explain the second time in a minute. We're still on the first time now. The ambulance. So he put me in the ambulance, handcuffs on, and I could feel like electric sensation coming from these handcuffs. If you look at the old British style handcuffs, the old ones used to be like the American ones. The new British handcuffs, but they've been here quite a while now, are like one solid thing. I'll try and get a picture of them. So we could easily have a battery inside them as well. I honestly do, but I probably put it down to TI phenomena, because I've experienced, whilst I'm talking like I am now on this microphone, my voice, a quick pulsing of an almost identical copy of my voice, but it's not the same. You can tell it's artificially generated, and it's like pulse straight in. So I gotta be careful and play back what I'm talking about. But anyway, I've said what I've said, and I've had something thrown at me when I'm talking. They kept saying, he's time lagging. So I was looking at this clock in the ambulance, and it was like 10 past. And look again, it was like 20 past. It's like I was blacking in and out, like. And it was time lagging, it kept saying. And then they took me to a hospital, and I was there for a while with them, I kept saying, can you take your handcuffs off me? Can you take them off me? Can you take it off me? He said, keep still. I was finding it hard to keep still as well for some reason. I really was finding it hard not to move my legs. Eventually, I managed to keep myself still, and she took the handcuffs off me. And then there was two officers, a male and a female. And they left then. Before this happened as well, just as he put the handcuffs onto me, she goes, oh, you're speaking German, you are. And that was interesting as well. Just chatting a load of other stuff. And he said, oh, which hospital do you want to go to? This is before the ambulance. Well, I was in the ambulance now, this part was. Do you want to go he's asked me which hospital. And he's trying to say one further away. And he's saying well, I was like, what the hell? Like, you wouldn't take me all the way over the fucking Rhondda for a fucking hospital. So he's mentioning that. So I want to go to fucking Gwent. So that's weird. But I will add, Riso was coming thrown up with the situation. Just the phasing in and out bit is weird as well. The last part of this story getting into the last part, they went from a hospital then. So I went out the hospital and had to have a cigarette. And he's back immediately, as fast as if he come out of nowhere. And then I stayed there and saw my fag. And then I went back in. I sat there until the morning, and no one seen me. And I decided I'm leaving this hospital now, so I left the hospital. And as I was leaving the hospital, doing car park security looked like the bloody bloke who was in the ambulance. One of the blokes. I can't prove that for 100%, 'cause it could have been a bloody similar looking sort of person. He gave me a look as well. I just walked out from it, and I walked 7 miles back to where I fucking live. But yeah, that's an interesting topic. And then topic 2 was the same day I walked from there, because I took myself to the hospital then, the other hospital. And they called the ambulance because of my cut face. No, we called the police. Sorry, not an ambulance, the police. And they showed up with a riot van. And they put me in the back of the van. And while I was in the van, I felt really, really drowsy. All started to feel drowsy as I was in the van all the way to the hospital. And I was just struggling to stay awake. Felt drowsy and in the hospital. And then they drove to see me, x-rayed me, all good. X-rayed my bloody head, actually. I had a horrible experience. I had my head x-rayed with the bloody x-ray machine. I could feel it. Anyway, so they did that. I said, that's enough, I'm out of it. I take this x-ray off, yeah. And they did. They wasn't hanging around too long, but it wasn't over-exaggerated. He was getting it done, but I just didn't want to be right next to an x-ray machine to my head like that. Then back in their riot ran back to the hospital. I started to feel the drowsiness come on again. I've been doing a lot of panicking and walking during that, so I just put them to that as well. So I'm not trying to say it's too bloody cuckoo. So that's that scenario. And then I've mentioned the other scenario where I was picked up and I was they was like follow me for like 5 minutes asking me what's the matter. Like, apparently my mother had reported me as gone, because I've been walking around the whole day. So I was completely unaware of my situation. I just started to wake up, and then whoever did the technology knew I was starting to wake up, because I've seen a couple of Dr. John Hull's programs, but caused a bit of a drama in itself with the bloody his episode I mentioned with the people renting places either side of you, which I think is complete and utter bullshit. That doesn't happen. But anyway, I was with these coppers. They put their body cameras on, and he was following me for about 5 minutes. And then I stopped then, I was talking to him, he put his body camera on. He touched his radio. It could class this as what's it called? TI phenomena, because I've experienced sensations and stuff. I started to feel like sensation every time he touched his radio. And then I got into their car. I walked back around, and I ended up walking back towards where their car was. I was in their car. And he was outside the car, talking for ages. And the male was driving, and the female got in the back with me. And the male was in the front with his Tetra radio. And the female's in the back with her Tetra radio. They both had earpieces in. And he was almost seemed like he was slowly turning them a certain direction. And I was like, my eyes closing. And then I come back to, and that was happening all the way to, they call it the free something suite. If you get picked up by the police and you get under the Mental Health Act in the United Kingdom, it's a different hospital. They keep you there for a certain amount of time. They take you to another hospital wherever they decide to keep you. But when I was in that room with them as well, it was happening then. There's a camera in that room as well. He was slowly, I was like, I couldn't take my eyes off it then. I was looking at it. I'm going to go over the word what I heard her say as well after that. Because I asked them something stupid about it. Anyway, my one stupid, I'll get to that now. I looked at the screen, and it's like, I was looking at it, and it's like, ooh, I was phasing in and out. I wasn't on any alcohol or drugs either, just to add, nothing at all. I was a bit sleep deprived, but no alcohol or no drugs. So I said, how long's the battery last in them radios? I said. So she goes, depends how much you use it. I asked, where's you stationed? And it was a bit of a laugh. And she said, my area where I live. From it, she said a bit of a grin. Said, not that much of a bit of, not a grin, not a laugh. Just my area where I live. Sort of like that sort of thing. I'm not trying to, you could put it as TI phenomena, because I've seen some weird stuff with the American situation and coppers over there and what they're dealing with, like, but this is a different country over here, I will add, and they're a bit more uptight with conspiracy theories. You don't get nothing about British conspiracy theories in Britain, hardly anything. You may get a bit of Nick Pope, and that's about it. Nothing else. Anyway, so she said, yeah, it depends on what I use it. And then she said, I'd like to give myself a little blast of it sometimes. Honestly, that's what it sounded like she said. How weird is that? It's weird. So I get to the point now where I was sat in there. I've ended up in there once before. I was in and out in 10 minutes. Or maybe at 45 minutes. They held me and took me to the hospital where they transferred to the other hospital, mental health hospital I'm on about when I say hospital. They kept me in there, good. I was probably 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 a.m. And it got weird in there. Like it was a heavy feeling, like, and in the end I couldn't move. And it was like a humming noise. The woman who was there coming in and out a couple of times. Give me a drink of water. I didn't drink it. I had actually hydrated myself right up that day. I've been walking around with a 5-litre water from a shop. I was drinking all day. 5-litre flagon of unbottled water. But I drank most of that. I'm going to have to track back on something in a minute now, because I just thought something else. I remember that night before I got picked up from them. But yeah, that's what happened. I'm beginning to wonder whether they use them rooms themselves as well. Maybe Britain doesn't like targeted individuals, and they may tend to try to fucking wipe them out, perhaps, if they're unaware. Or something. I don't know. I may be wrong. I could be saying the wrong sort of thing here. I don't know. But I just woken up to Dr. John Hall's Gaia television show, and things got weird as fuck after that. I woken up to that program. The V2K issue and all of that switched on and off like mad. It was on, it was off. You turn it on, it was off. So I had a bit of a V2K issue. It started back up then, so I decided to dig into it a bit. Almost the V2K started as I started to watch Gaia television as well, as if they was trying to intimidate me out of watching Gaia TV, because they probably knew I was going to find that particular show eventually. I did find them show the latest one, which is not very good info. The first one ain't the best info either. But no, that is dodgy, like, almost seems a bit suspicious. Yeah. I'm going to track back now. If I covered anything about that. Yeah, I was finding it difficult to walk around in a room to the toilet I was in there. It's quite a big room, there's bean bags, and there's a chair. And it's like, oh, when you lay down, go to sleep. I wouldn't like it, because I felt dodgy, I didn't feel right about it, so I sat up. And it was almost like I was locked in position at one point, I could not move, and it was like I almost fucking fell asleep, sat up, bent forwards a bit. Very strange. Dr. John Hall mentioned something about electromagnetics, and the bloke in the where he was, he could hardly bloody move, like. So he asked something I experienced. Plenty of psychiatrists in NHS listen to this. Just take it with a fucking pinch of salt. This could be classed as TI phenomena. I don't have any proof, but it was CCTV in that room anyway. Just to add, there's a camera in there. But yeah, this is my dealings with the government organisation NHS. Very strange. So I said I'm going to step back to something now. I kept saying that, didn't I? Before I got picked up by them coppers, I went back to my last flat before me and my mother decided we was going to move in together so we could help each other out, because my mother's severely disabled and she was rapidly going downhill. Anyways, so I decided to go and help her and do a shopping and feed her, because I have to look after my disabled mother, dealing with all of this as well, and she's got slight issues that I'm not going to talk about. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to track back. This is my last flat, so I went back to that flat for about 45 minutes. Previously that day, I'd been there in the morning, so I'd left my mother's house. I bought some water, and I'd left my water in the fridge. And I had been drinking my second bottle of water, the 5-litre bottle of water. But for some reason, I decided to tip that out and get fresh water I'd put in the fridge, so I bought in a supermarket, and it'd been left there all day. After I drank that water, I felt really fucking weird. No bullshit, yeah. I felt fucking like I'd been drugged on something I've never ever took in my life. Don't know what it could have been. Very weird feeling started to come over me after drinking that water. And then it got weird. I went in like a panic. I'd been walking around reasonably just trying to figure out what felt like. After I drank that water, I went a bit weird. And then I ended up, the police ended up, I actually phoned the police actually. That's correct. I phoned the police. And during that phone conversation as well, I was running. And it sounded like coming from the phone, or you're running as fast as the officers is chasing you. That's what it sounded like coming from my phone. That was probably a voiceover. They wouldn't have said that. But yeah, that's all part of the weirdness. And I'm going to go back to what they were saying to me in the car. Now, when they both got into the car, so I'm going back now before step chatting back. I know I might be getting things mixed up. Yeah, I'm not getting things mixed up. I'm trying to get some words in it correctly. So before they took me to that holding mental health facility room, it was almost like it was talking. Voiceovers then. It's on about I'm not going to mention names. It's on about someone I used to know. And he's on about the music. He asked me, what music do you like to listen to? Do you know, I can give a fuck. Their stereo was on in the car, in their cop car. They do have normal radios, like music, fucking FM radios in cars as well. Some of them do. I've noticed now. They didn't for a while, but they had their pop music playing. And she goes, something about disturbing politics. What the fuck was that about? I do not know. Something to do with music playing. That was weird. And then I'm going to repeat what he was saying. And what she said, I'm going to rip your heart out, this is. And he was going, we're pulling off forwards in reverse. I heard him say that. I doubt he said it. This is what he mentioned, where you should keep their body cameras on all the time whilst dealing with a mental health situation, because voiceovers have thrown over shit quite badly as well. This is just stuff I'm putting on you as weird happenings. And this is in 2022. We're 2026 now. This is 2022. This is the full picture of the weird happenings I've had whilst dealing with coppers in the past. I don't mean to be funny or nothing, like, but then they could have that technology as well, just to add. They actually could have that technology. I will add that. They literally could, like, it's 2026. They could have that weird technology if they wanted to use it, just to add. I don't want to cause panic or disruption or nothing like that, but DSM waking up to realising you've been fucking set up with a fucking mental health and Rana syndrome issue. I wouldn't class it as not impossible in my situation living in the United Kingdom. That's all I can say. Because it's undeniable microphone evidence. I feel it. If I hadn't have started my channel when I did, I felt I had to do it for safety reasons, my YouTube channel. Especially after I realised, well, I had a guess you might be able to record it a while back before I even fucking watched someone else recorded it. The first channel I watched who was recording it passed me on to the best recording channel. Her situation was pretty bad. Justin, I don't know, she hasn't been active. She wasn't even active. And there was a video I watched then was 2 years old. She was having a little go with a different software. I can't remember what it's called. But she mentioned that another channel, so I went to that one. But I knew about this channel anyway, but I didn't realise he was doing that particular bit at that point. And that's why I decided to go and do it to prove my own case and my own evidence that if you can record the audio in this device that you're talking on, you are not mentally ill. And maybe they wanted to cover it up, or maybe not. But I always ask myself as well, if they wanted to cover it up, they would have gone on with the job and they would have wiped me out, wouldn't they? I wouldn't be sat here now talking about it. So, very weird. It's probably the shite heads, just like the American situation with their coppers. Similar situation here, trying to cause as much disruption as possible. Can you imagine the American situation? It was a write-over thrown into the area. Say they was trying to tell the suspect to do something, give him an order, and that suspect was hearing something different, and he did something different. What them coppers going to do? They're going to shoot, aren't they, in America? They're going to fire. Do you know what I mean? That's another thing about this issue as well, I'm adding. It's a pretty bad situation, like. It's very fucking dodgy. Them two coppers I was with as well, they both had tasers. They didn't use them. I reckon if they'd used them on me, it would kill me in the state I was in, just because I was so fucking sleep deprived, or messed me up. Like, but no, they wasn't physical in any way, shape or form. Like, I've never experienced any physical issues off any coppers at all. No. Well, once actually, but it wasn't that bad. It was, the girl I was with that caused that anyway. But no, I knew him from, when I was a child. But no, I wasn't that particularly that bad. But no, I've never experienced any violence off them myself in that, way. No. There's one other point I'm going to add as well. This is going way, way back to 2017. This is going back to. I was in a police station in a cell. The entire time I was in the cell, I felt really, really drowsy. They kept me the maximum amount of time. 24 hours, and they let me out, and that was because I had an argument with my mother. I accidentally broke something in her old house back in 2017. I left the house in a panic, and I broke a door and a cabinet, which I paid for. I had to go to court over it. That I kept me for the maximum amount of time just for criminal damage, like, which is weird. There's only criminal damage. Apparently he's waiting for CPS for advice. So that's odd, like, you think a simple, straightforward criminal damage would be in out the door, wouldn't you? He kept me full 24 hours. So by the time I was there, I felt very drowsy. Yeah. And when the cop drove me back to where I live, they took me to quite a far away cop shop, well, further out of my area. Yeah, I had his window open for a period of time. My passenger side, I sat in the front with him. And I started to wake up as the fresh air hit me. It's weird though. That's another weird thing I've experienced. That was way back situation that was, before I even realised my issue as it was. I knew I had issues with some sort of government shit, but I didn't quite know what to call it at that point, like I've said before on my channel. But no, if I ever have any dealings with officers again, I'm going to turn my body camera on. If I have that sort of situation. Don't bother using a mobile phone, because your mobile phone can be remotely wiped immediately. Waste of time. Use a camera which isn't connected to the internet, obviously. Mobile phones are remotely wiped. If it's something you film and the government doesn't want it on there, they'll wipe it. Just to add. But yeah. Christmas time, before Christmas, the police called to my house because me and my mum was rowing about certain things. I had a bad time during Christmas. Just feeling shitty. Not major. Police called. He sent 4 of them. I did put a video. I took it off. I don't see the point. There's no point, like. They were completely fine. But stupid me decided to bloody put my head next to his bloody radio. He had a earpiece in. I was pissed, like, I don't ask me why I did that, but I just did it, like. So I was pissed that I just felt like doing that. I don't ask me, I knew I wanted to do it, to see whether it'd they do it like, but I don't think they do anyway. No. Very strange stuff. Yeah. I'm going to leave it yes where it is now. I'm going to put a little bit of my pet rats on as well. So I'm going to leave it here now. I send my love to all who's not involved in this horrible TI and fucking mental health setting up narrative. I send my love to all. Another thing I'm going to add as well. I was watching it was on the news, I think, or YouTube. It's one police department in America who's took on the digital style walkie-talkie system now, radio system in America. One police department in one state. So used to use they use the other sort of style of radios, don't they? People use police scanners and stuff over there. But they're completely encrypted, like you can't scan them like these type of radios. They don't ask you how it works. It's completely digitised. They have to have those base station aerials dotted all around the place, like in Britain. But yeah, this one particular police department in America has decided to use them style stuff now. I was watching this bloke, a radio enthusiast bloke on YouTube actually. I think that's what I found out about there. He was saying he can no longer use his scanner because they've changed their radios to encryption ones. That's just something I'm adding as well. Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it here now. That's it now for me rattling off. But, it's all evidence I'm giving, not accusing. I tend to class it as the sort of stuff that Stacey's gone through, like, what's her YouTube videos, and the other one, his name is Scott. He calls his channel mind control information. I class it as manipulation sort of thing, maybe a subliminal sort of aspect to it as well. Maybe. I don't want to call it mind control as such, me personally, like, but I sort of get what he's fucking on about, though, I will say that. But no, yeah. I haven't had much pain, like, with it. Just funny sensations and stuff. And, like, nicotine withdrawal and cravings seem to be a bit exaggerated, like. And, like, things like that. It's a guy, a television show called Open Minds. Gina, her name is. She's mentioned something about this sort of thing that you could add as it as well. That's where you got to be aware of what you're thinking of, perhaps, maybe. It's like, how addictive is fags, like, and stuff real, you got to think of. And alcohol. I've dropped alcohol like shit off a shovel. My last drink of alcohol was, and I've been a vodka sort of person for quite a while. I have. My last drink of vodka was the strongest vodka you can get in Britain. Is fucking 40%. And it was bloody Ukrainian vodka. I normally go for Absolute, which is 40%. But no, I haven't drunk since the 20th of December. Yeah, the last day I had my last 70cl 40% bottle of Ukrainian 40% vodka. I will add, I was drinking it neat, so I was also drinking Evian water at the same time, a little bit as well. But on a keto diet, though, vodka is like, goes down like water, like, it actually makes it taste sweet. That's a problem with it, like, if you're on a keto diet, vodka is fucking lush. I've always liked vodka anyway, but no, I've given it up, and I haven't drunk since 20th of December. I can't handle it. Honestly, I'm going to add this is a thing as well. If I drank 10 cans of Stella, I would get more fucked up than I would off a fucking 70cl bottle of vodka. No bullshit. It's so many chemicals in that horrible lager. It's toxic. Like, vodka is your least mouldy one, like, I suppose. Yeah. But honestly, I drink 10 cans of Stella, like, and you get more fucked up off them than you would fucking vodka, like. But no, I do not drink anymore. I've given up everything. Because it's toxic. Because I don't want substances in my system. So you mustn't take substances. It's bad for you, like. It's best to give it all up. Yeah. But anyway, I'll leave it here now. I've had enough rattling off. I did mention about, I'm going to have to come out and just split it out, like, if I grew weed for a very short period of time when I was 18, I could grow like 6 plants in my house. It's illegal in Britain. That's, it's nothing to do with mental health either, but you could have mould on them. You could also have household dust, which could stick to the sticky buds. There's another channel that would explain about the household dust. I haven't bought my USB microscope yet. I'm going to get one, probably, and see what dust you can find in the fucking skirting boards. I haven't done that yet. No. You could put like Dettol bleach around your skirting boards if you want to take it that far. I haven't done that, but it's something you could do. Nah. Yeah, if you've grown weed, like, you want to watch you don't get dust on it. Honest to fact, like, me personally, I do not want to be high. My high is being sober now. It's nice to be fucking sober. But no, in the tobacco industry, and the vaping industry, I've mentioned all that and done a playlist about that anyway. But yeah, I'll leave my rattling off. That's it now. Leave it at that. I have to add one more funny bit of thing. If you've got a pet dog, a male one, why wouldn't you go on the internet and buy him a bloody friend then, if you get what I mean? A sex doll for a fucking dog. And break the room or something. That's what I do personally myself. Just to add, like, because they do live longer, male dogs, if you don't have them done. Or cats. All animals do. I don't know how it works with female ones. I think it's the same for them as well. It's not a natural process, like. I'd have to have a male one, sorry, like, I'd have a female pet, to be totally honest, as well. They are loving towards males, female ones have as well. I like the male ones, I do it. They're fun as well. No, yeah. People are, what the fuck, like, get him a fucking a tie from, like, well, not everyone's as open-minded as me, I don't suppose. I just get him a bloody, a doll to play with, like, and leave a room. Yeah. That's what I would do, personally. For a dog or something. Yeah. Fair enough. Anyway. So I went down with. I'm gay, I am, so obviously I'm going to probably be a bit more like that. I'm proud of my sexuality. Those things. Looking forward to someone to come in and have a look at my ass. Give it a good going over, to be totally honest. Anyway, I'll leave it at that now. Right, I'm working on my, I hate video editing as well. I'm crap at doing it. I got a shitty fucking video editor. It does work. I'm thinking of something now. 2 occasions this has happened. One of the, I call them security guard sort of people from the hospitals, the mental health hospitals. One was lurking about once when I was in a normal hospital and stopped to speak to me, and that was the first time I met her. I'm not mentioning no names, there's no point. It was a bit of a talk. I'm sure she said something about, it sounds like she had said she had been in hospital for years and years and years. I'm also going to add, people may find this disgusting, like, that's why I'm not mentioning names. I would say she's attacked with some sort of issue or something. I don't like I've been watching Gaia television, and they got people on there who are doctors and will say about medical fraud as well. So I believe in homeopathic healing now. Anyway, I believe she's got some sort of issue. Anyway, she was lurking about there, was talking to me, and there was another pint, and this was when I went to buy my pet rats. They wouldn't allow me to buy these pet rats where I live because they thought I was drunk. Well, I was, but that's none of their business. Well, anyway, I stupidly said, right, I'm going to this shop now. So the horrible bastards had phoned them and given my description, and they told me they wouldn't serve me. So I had to go to shop number 3, and I kept my mouth shut. I had to travel 20-odd miles away to the next pet shop on the bus. So I went down there, and in that pet shop was this lady I just mentioned. It could have been someone very familiar. Didn't say nothing, just said hello and a smile. Could have randomly been doing shopping herself, like, could have been as random as that. And so that's another point to add as evidence. I'm just adding as well. There's plenty of evidence to add. And someone from there, it's more stuff I got to put on, as evidence. I'm going to get to that part now after this. This particular time now, a mental health home treatment nurse come to visit me, my house. She said the black rat was called a Russian black, and my white and grey one was a Japanese one. That's what she said. She's a nice lady. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the home treatment team now. When I was living at my second flat, they always phone you when they're due to come to your house. I had seen this one bloke before. But anyway, I'd knock at my door, and there was it was a woman, excuse me. It was a woman, a lady, and it was a familiar looking bloke from my past. And this familiar bloke was in the children's home I stayed in for 1 year down West Wales. His name was Luke Parsons. If it wasn't him, it looked like a double of him. And I recognised his tattoo. And when I was staying with him, I was 15 and he would have been 23. I used to have a picture of him, because I had a camera, just a photograph camera, I chucked a lot of photos out. I chucked that photo out anyway. I thought, I should have kept it like that. I did actually chuck it out before them photos. But anyway, his name was Luke Parsons. So it was this random knock off the door, and he was meant to be from the home treatment team. And they will always phone you before they come, when they come to see me. And this is going back to 2015. During my times of the 6-month Alexa stay, then, shall I call it. And that bloke, I asked him, he said, I recognise you. Is your name Luke Parsons? And he said no. He's always a bit cocky and smarmy, yeah? And he said in a smarmy way, no. So that's interesting stuff to add. The name of this children's home I was in is only because I was drinking and my mother didn't want me staying with her. I moved out from my mother house at 14, and I had my first flat at 17, and I stayed in a hostel for a year, 16 to 17. Yeah, but anyway, in the end I was living with foster people trouble because my father didn't want me down there, and my mother didn't want me drinking alcohol, and my father used to buy me alcohol whenever I wanted it, as much as I wanted as well. I've done a video about that, of me taking the piss out of him and his gambling addiction, feeding and drink. And he never did buy me that mini moto. You might, if you're a keen listener, he said it was a mini moto. You hear him say in that video, he gambled it all in the betting shop. Anyway, what was I getting to? Yeah, I stayed in this children's home down West Wales. They was called Impact Youth Services Ltd. And this Luke Parsons bloke and this woman shows up at my house and knock my door, and I let them into my house. And why the fuck would he be working with a mental health service in my local area? He was actually from Cardiff, he told me, back then, and he had told me he worked in other children's homes before he worked in that particular one. It's all evidence I'm adding to this video is about weird things I remember. I wish I'd had a microphone, and I wish I'd never sold my cheap, well, it wasn't at the time, I sold it for cheap, it was £15, my Canon camcorder. There's a good zoom on it. You had to put little mini video cassette tapes into it. I wish I kept that, because it would be fucking useful. I wish I kept filming, like. I decided to stop filming when I got to about 15. I just stopped using it. Last video I did probably was in that factory. Yeah, it was. That was the last time I used that camera, was in that factory. I never used after that. It sat and didn't do anything. The actual original cassette tapes got ripped apart and put in the bin, and I put them onto normal cassette video tapes. But I was hearing all that crap out the window. I'm going to do a video about that, just me sat in my bedroom, just a plain video of it, amplifying up and nothing. Off of cassette tapes again, with a different sort of video player. You can get a HDMI video player, where you put the HDMI lead into your video player. It would be a better option, maybe, I don't know. I'm going to play it and watch the videos again first, just in another VHS player, and see what comes out of that. It'd be interesting. I had a CCTV black and white camera once, when I was 9 years old, and you could plug it straight in to a VHS player and press record, and it would record. It had a basic microphone. It'd be interesting to see what's on that. I've only got like 9 minutes worth or so of video left of it, just me sat playing on a PlayStation. I put it in my bedroom. It's interesting, like, I don't know what I get with that, but it'd be worth having a look at as well, I think I might add. Yeah. But this Luke Parsons lookalike bloke or him visiting me, I asked him where he was from, and he said he wasn't from around here. It was weird. That's just all weird goings-ons I've experienced. Like, yeah, it's very bloody strange. That's all evidence I'm adding. I think it's worth to add to my channel at this point now, because I've definitely been experiencing stuff throughout my life that British authorities would have been aware of. Definitely. Very peculiar. Yeah.